engines. 19 drivers that qualified for today's race are also in tomorrow's Nextel Cup race, including the top 14 starters this afternoon. Take a look at this stat. 19 drivers from the Nextel Cup Series in today's race. 19 drivers doing both races, the Busch Series race and tomorrow's Nextel Cup race. It truly is an all-star event here in Chicago this afternoon. Hi, everybody. Bill Weber along with Wally Dallenbach and Benny Parsons. Welcome to sunny, warm, and very dry Chicago. BP, there was a parade of drivers from the Nextel Cup garage to the Busch garage just a little while ago.
Yes, there sure was, and that's one disadvantage. One advantage for the guys in the NASCAR Busch Series race is they get to test on this racetrack. But also the fans you talked about, they get to see a world-class event today. And it also elevates the NASCAR Busch Series drivers because it makes them better racing against this competition. But there's also a disadvantage. These drivers practiced for 90 minutes just a moment ago on this racetrack. That has to be an advantage over a NASCAR Busch Series driver that was in his transporter. And also, 10 NASCAR Busch Series drivers came here to attempt to qualify and failed to make the race, displaced by Nextel Cup drivers, Wally.
Yeah, and I think, unlike Daytona, the guys that are in a Cup race tomorrow that are racing the Busch race today, this track, we saw it in happy hour, is changing by the minute. So the guys that run the Busch race today are going to see how the track changes. They're going to take that information over to their cars for the Cup race tomorrow. So we'll have an advantage.
And one thing we've all learned already, this is a very fast track. Let's get some key observations from pit road, beginning with Marty Snyder.
Bill, starting with this weekend, the next 2 months have been circled on Reed Sorensen's calendar all year long because he has an 6 of the next 7 racetracks. Brian Patty, as crew chief, told me the goal is just to get him comfortable at all these racetracks that he has not seen. Today, team Matt Yoakum.
It's a huge weekend for David Stremme. Today he rolls off 12th, but tomorrow his Nextel Cup debut from the 31st position. The learning curve has been tremendous. He's had one of the best cars this weekend, and Dave Burns, one of the best cars over the last 6 races.
Watch that front row. Ryan Newman very fast. Also Casey very good. Alan?
Will be just a minute. Kevin Harvick told me just a minute ago the first pit stop will be the key to his race today, making the right adjustments to the changing track conditions. He starts 5th. Behind him is Greg Biffle. Biffle says watch his line into turn 1. That'll help his tire wear today. Let's get the command.
Please welcome Jim Metcalf, Executive Vice President of USG and President of USG Building Systems, as he gives those most famous words in motorsports. Gentlemen, start your engine!
Not a cloud in the sky. The temperature near 90 degrees here in Chicagoland. Ryan Newman and Casey Kane will take the field to the green. The colored Busch cars rolling off of pit road here at Chicagoland Speedway in Joliet, Illinois, getting ready for a 300-mile race, the 5th Busch Series race here at Chicagoland. Martin Truex Jr. off the win at Daytona, now a 71-point lead in the chase for the Busch Series championship. Sorensen, 3rd. Carl Edwards and Kenny Wallace rounding out the top 5. David Green in 10th, 544 points off the lead of Truex. Take a look at the starting grid for today's NASCAR Busch Series race here in Chicago, and all of the first 14 drivers qualified for tomorrow's Nextel Cup race. Newman and Casey Kane on the front row. J.J. Yaley qualified Tony Stewart's Nextel Cup car for tomorrow. Of course, Stewart will drive that car. Back in row 3, Kevin Harvick and Greg Biffle.
In row 4, Elliott Sadler, Jimmy Johnson. It still continues. Carl Edwards, Mark Martin, Michael Waltrip, and David Stremme making his debut tomorrow afternoon.
Former Busch Series champion Bobby Labonte is in row 7. There's Truex with John Wood in row 8. And in row 9, Joe Nemechek and Denny Hamlin.
Back in row 10, Reed Sorensen, Jeff Green, Kenny Wallace, Raines, and Clint Boyer.
Aaron Fike and Jeremy Mayfield. Mayfield lost a car here in practice yesterday. He's in a backup machine. Former series champion Matt Kenseth in the field. Regan Smith and Brent Sherman in row 15.
Gonna see Paul Menard, Jason Keller, Sauter, Jerry Robertson, David Green, also Jason Leffler back in 36th position.
Sterling Marlin in the race. Justin Labonte won here a year ago. Row 21, Stanton Barrett and Joy, the former series champion.
Last position, Steve Grissom, also a former Busch Series champion.
10 cars failed to make the race. BP, those are the drivers you were talking about, and 3 cars moving to the back, the 17, 22, and 49, for work after the cars were impounded.
Let's see if we can get a hold of Carl.
Dial him up.
Edwards, dial him up. Carl, this is Wally up in the booth. Can you hear me? Sounds like we got a mic open.
Wow. How about that? The pit crews get pumped up and get to go. Todd Parrott had those guys pumped, didn't he?
He sure did.
Let's try it again.
All right.
Hey, Carl, this is Wally in the booth. Can you hear me?
10-4, Wally, loud and clear.
Hey, we were talking this morning. You guys had to make a little bit of a change this morning, so you're kind of not sure what you had there going into turn 1.
Yeah, you know, luckily we got to qualify the setup, but our crank height was a little bit high, and, you know, they had to lower the car, and Brad and the guys put different springs in it. But qualifying went pretty well, and, heck, I mean, it's just, the track's changing too, so it could be a blessing.
How about that pet talk we just heard?
What's that?
What was all that racket going down there in your pits just a second ago?
Was that in my pits?
Yeah, it was. So, hey, we'll be watching. Good luck today.
All right, cool. Yeah, we're excited. That's awesome to hear my guys doing that. It's just cool to be driving this car. We're going to have fun.
All right, good luck today, Carl.
Well, if you want to talk under green too, buddy, be glad to chat with you later.
Really, under green, huh?
Yeah, let's do it. It'll be fun.
Isn't he busy?
For tomorrow, Alan, but the 10% he'll learn behind the wheel, and that's about tires. Yeah, Matt, we're going to hear a lot about tires today. This is a tire as it comes new from Goodyear. It's got the sticker on it. That's a new tire. But Goodyear has asked all of the teams to take their tires out, put a couple of laps on them, take the new off. This is what they call a scuff tire. It's trying to help a tire wear situation, trying to avoid tire failures. We're going to hear a lot of teams concerned about tires, and we'll see how many laps they're able to go today before any problems may or may not crop up. Bill?
Thank you, Alan. Tires, a very fast track, and a lot of in the field. 300 miles for the NASCAR Busch Series, and the green flag is out at Chicagoland.
Casey Kane, the 38 car on the outside.
2 crews, VP, not 3 yet.
I tell you what, that's what I like to see, cars side by side. They make this group wider.
You can't block 2 cars, can you?
Kyle Busch takes the 5 car to the front. Here comes Ryan Newman on the inside. Rocket Man going for the lead in that 39 car. And now, Harvick trying to make it 3 wide. Wow.
Picked up 2 spots right there, maybe.
Newman in the 39, the pole sitter, brings them around to complete lap number 2. Casey Kane in the 38 alongside Harvick in the 21.
A lot of grip in that second groove already. I thought it maybe would be a little slow the first few laps, but it looks like there's a lot of grip up there.
2 practice sessions this morning for the Nextel Cup Series. Got some rubber on that track. See if that helps.
And Casey Kane in that 38 car, he will move to the top of the racetrack. He and Michael Waltrip will be the first 2 guys to move up if they start losing some grip on the bottom groove. Mark Martin looks like trying to get Jimmy Johnson. Mark in the 9 car. Jimmy Johnson in his familiar 48.
A lot of guys in the garage watching that 9 car today. That's Kane on the inside with Harvick trying to follow him through underneath Kyle Busch.
I think the 21 car, Kevin Harvick, he is working pretty good on the bottom. Pull it off.
Gets the position.
For Kevin Harvick.
Harvick's a 2-time winner in the Nextel Cup Series here at Chicagoland. Looking back at Busch. That's Harvick's bumper view. Here's Mark Martin leading the pack.
It's in the 9 car. He goes by the J.J. Yeley 18 vehicle, and here comes Jimmy Johnson trying to follow Mark Martin to the front. There's Carl Edwards that Wally just talked to in the 60 car.
David Stremme right there. The Navy car, they're all going to try to work under J.J. Yeley.
Mark from 10th to 6th in the opening laps. Let's get an update from Marty.
Well, Bill, I talked to Chad Canalsi, crew chief for Jimmy Johnson in both the Nextel Cup Series and in the Busch Series here today. Before they started the race, he said, the car is very, very good. It's going to be extremely good on long runs. We learned some things in Cup practice, but there's really not much they can do to the car after that practice. They can change air pressure, but that's about it. But Jimmy was very confident heading into the race. He'll have probably 2 more Busch races after this year at California, definitely at Charlotte, and possibly also at Texas. But so far, so good for the 48 team. Alan?
Well, Jimmy Johnson's Hendrick Motorsport Kyle Busch has slipped back after grabbing that early lead. Kyle reporting a couple of problems with his car, problems handling ills with his car. When he gets into the center of the corner, the front end doesn't want to continue to around the corner. And when he comes off the corner, the back end wants to spin around and pass the front end. So crew chief Jim Long will get to address both of those on their first pit stop.
See Greg Biffle trying to get by the 5 car. That's Biffle in 66.
Also saw Harvick move up a spot to 2nd.
I think what happened on that 5 car, Kyle Busch, he's got the car's obviously tight in center, so he's got the wheel turned, and when the car does take a bite, he's got so much wheel in it, that's when the car gets loose, because the front finally ripped.
The Busch Series cars were impounded, so they practiced, then ran qualifying late yesterday afternoon. The cars were impounded after that, meaning the teams can do very little to them after the qualifying session. So you basically practice in your race trim and see what you got. And what Mark Martin's got is a fast car.
Yes, he does, as he goes by Kyle Busch into the 5th position. Marty, has Mark said anything yet?
He hadn't said much on the radio, BP, but I would think if you're going to follow someone to the front, you think Mark Martin's a good candidate to do that with?
That would be my guess.
Yeah, I would say so. He started 10th today, already worked his way up into the top 5. He's in the 5th position right now. Mark very happy with the car. Before the race started, told me it would be very good, especially on the longer runs. You see these Cup guys say that quite often. Mark is batting .500 in the Busch Series this year. 4 starts, 2 wins. Not a bad record, is it?
That'll get you in the Hall of Fame, won't it? Mark Martin with a strong car, trying to get to the front, chasing Ryan Newman and Kevin Harvick. They lead early in Chicagoland. Newman continues to lead here in Joliet, Illinois, the NASCAR Busch Series under the green flag. And one guy we've been watching, Carl Edwards, on the move toward the front, trying to catch race leader Ryan Newman, and he's had his hands full.
I tell you what, he made a very impressive move down the front stretch.
In the 60 car.
In the middle, he makes it 3 wide. Oh!
Yeah, he bullied his way through on that one. I probably shouldn't have been trying to call him right there.
And he goes in the corner on the outside.
Well, look at Yeley get loose. Got to go here in Chicago. If you go into the corner and you're on the outside, you can get really close to the guy on the inside, side by side, and you will get him loose. So you've got to be careful when you go down in there to try to give the guy a lot of room on the bottom, because if he gets sideways, that's okay, but you just don't want him to take you out with him.
Carl Edwards up to 7th. Ryan Newman started on the pole, fell back on the first lap, but took the lead on lap number 2 and continues to lead over Harvick, who is 2nd. And Greg Biffle.
Last lap had the fastest lap, so he is gaining on the leader. See Mark Martin, the 9 car, and Jimmy Johnson, 48. Those guys are back in the 5th and 6th.
Newman, the race leader, and building a big lead.
Oh, Harvick way up in the gray area. And there we see Biffle.
Currently running third. Of course, Greg second in the Nextel Cup Series championship standings. Running today's race. How will that help him tomorrow?
You certainly learn things no matter what. Like I talk about any sport, you know, it depends on, you know, if you're playing golf and the ball landed over there, at least you've shot from there before. So same difference. I'm passing a lap car. You know, he runs me up the hill, or something to watch for. What the car did when it got up in the gray area. I got down on the apron a little bit, almost crashed. You know, those kinds of scenarios. You know, it's hard to pass behind cars like Dover. I learned that I had the wrong shocks in the race car, fixed the shocks in the Cup car for Sunday, and won the race. So, perfect example of what Saturday can do for you.
And that's why you're so good out of the woods on the golf course, right?
Oh, yeah, right. I've been there several times, yes.
Let's get an update from Dave Burns.
And I just checked with Greg Biffle's crew chief, Newt Moore, asking him how the car was. Right now, Greg's car is a little hard to handle in the middle of the corner. He'll go down toward that white line. Then the car wants to slide out toward the wall right in the center. That's something that Newt said they could fix on the first stop.
They're all going to be looking at these tires real close, too, on that first stop.
And Casey Kane, ever seen the 38 car has moved to the top of the racetrack. And that is going to wear that tire, the right rear tire, quicker. But Casey Kane is the fastest car. The last lap, see him how high he is off that turn 4?
That's Harvick in second in the 21. Biffle's behind him, then Kane. Martin runs fifth. And Ryan Newman's got a good piece here, obviously.
Yes, he does.
He begins to fight his way through lap traffic. Ryan Newman started up front, runs up front. You're watching NASCAR on NBC.
Kyle Busch, who led the early laps of this race but had fallen back to 15th place, is on pit road under the green flag. Kyle began reporting a vibration on the car about 10 laps ago. Called in a lap ago, said, I'm coming in, it's getting worse. And he just came down for 4 tires. We'll get a look at him here in a second.
He was struggling, Alan. I mean, that car was pushing really bad.
You weren't sure he was going to make it that long,
It
were you?
looked like he was going to hit the wall. That's how bad that car was sliding up the racetrack.
And Al will be looking at those tires along with about 43 crew chiefs from over the NASCAR Nextel Cup garage.
He's going to have a hard time getting in there, isn't he?
He is.
Ryan Newman continues to lead. Harvick runs second. Kane, Biffle, and Martin the top 5.
Casey Kane has gotten by the 66 car off Greg Biffle to take over that third spot.
And that's going to be a popular activity throughout the afternoon here at Chicagoland, looking at these tires.
Uh-oh, trouble.
Steve Grissom, the 49 car, has hit the, looks like he's blown a right front tire.
That brings out the caution, the first one of the day in the USG Durock 300. And his car comes to a rest.
Bad break for Kyle Busch.
Yeah, it sure was. He wanted to stay green in the cycle through and all cars make a pit stop and get him back on the lead lap.
Now, you think the teams are happy about this because they're going to be able to get a look at their tires after 30 laps?
Absolutely.
They are thrilled to death because they see a car sitting down there that obviously had a tire issue, and they want to look at their tires, make sure they're okay, and plus make adjustments to their cars to try to make them better.
Justin Labonte will be the lucky dog. Let's see if we can see what happened to Grissom. Picked this up just a little late.
You'll see the very top of the screen up there.
But you can see the tire track where the tire went down.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hard hit.
Oh, there's a brake rotor rolling around, looks like.
All hard hits.
Good point. On board with Harvick.
Whoa.
Ooh, yeah.
Wow. That's somewhat similar to what we saw happen to Tony Stewart yesterday in the Nextel Cup practice.
That right front tire, yes.
Except Tony's blew coming off the corner, which normally they go when you're going in the corner.
Right.
But you still hit the same hard.
Tony got a free ride to the hospital yesterday, but says he's good to go tomorrow. Well, this is going to make pit road a very busy place. 31 laps complete. As we've been talking about, the team's very anxious to see tire wear. Ryan Newman comes down pit road, and he's got a lot of friends. Marty, good luck down there.
I appreciate that, Weber. Kevin Harvick's car just started to get a little bit tight, which means it won't turn in the corners for him, but he was fairly happy with it. All they're going to do is take a half pound of the right front tire. That's the only change for the 21 team. Kevin, very confident with a race car, and it will be a 4-tire change. Matt?
Easy entry for Carl Edwards. A chassis adjustment already completed, so the car just not to the balance he was looking for. Too tight, made a brake bias adjustment as well. Fourth in the championship standings. Dave's trying to gain points. Top of your screen, leader Ryan Newman comes in. They put a wedge wrench through the window and actually that's a track bar adjustment because the car was just a little bit tight for Ryan. 4 tires. He will try to win the race off pit road. Trouble on the left front. He will not win it. The 90 car beats him off.
Wow, where did that 90 car come from?
We'll find out. Allen, right sides only for Elliott Sadler there, Bill. That's how he got out so fast.
Man, oh man, looks like they would have wanted to change all 4, and look at those tires.
That's interesting. We'll see if he comes back and gets less. Or maybe they're trying something for late in the race tomorrow. We'll check it out in a moment.
See those cars on the right side of your screen? All those cars are a lap down to our leader, Elliott Sadler, in the 90 car.
And that's the guy to watch because he's got 2 tires.
And Kyle Busch really does need to get one of these laps back here if he can.
Oh, we see a battle for the lead. Here comes Newman on the inside. Harvick.
That's not a battle.
No. It's like, okay, let's take 4 next time.
Okay, we came here, we tested, we learned. On board with Harvick.
Oh, boy, Elliott's going to go right to the back. I have a bad feeling on that one.
Ryan Newman leads. Then it's Kevin Harvick.
Everyone is just driving by Elliott Sadler as they forced him 3 wide into turn 1.
And you're sitting there very frustrated as a driver at this point because you know you guys made the wrong move. And,
battle for the lead. Harvick, the 21 car. We haven't seen anyone get by Newman in the 39 yet today.
Except the first lap.
First lap.
Yep.
Kyle Busch did. That's right.
Well, we're going to find out how strong Newman in that 39 car is right now. Harvick runs this track very well. His car is good. It's Mark Martin in the 3rd position in that silver number 9, the Pennzoil machine.
Kyle Busch still looks like he's tight.
Yep.
Sliding up the racetrack. 39 is going to duck underneath him here in a second, and the 21 will follow Kevin Harvick.
All right, now Kyle Busch back 2 laps down.
Steve Grissom treated and released from the infield care center, and Elliott Sadler from 1st to 12th in about 2 laps. Dave on the
in
race.
the wall.
Wow,
Kyle Busch just got into the wall there off of turn 2.
Didn't you?
Yes, I saw it coming a long time ago, but they didn't make enough adjustment.
How about the leader, Dave?
You guys have been talking tires all day long, so of course leader Ryan Newman, he was very curious about the 4 tires that came off of his number 39 car. Crew Chief Roy McCauley radioed back to him, "We are golden, we're fine, the tires look great."
That's what a driver wants to hear when there's tire issues.
And that's what I want to hear as well. Because everyone is concerned about the tires, and I think everyone is going to be relieved.
Championship leader Martin Truex Jr. in the 8th. Jimmy Johnson behind him. Casey Kane in the black 38 machine.
That's a battle for 7th, 8th, and 9th.
I think, you know, like Casey right now, he loses a couple of spots early. But when the tires start wearing out and he stays in that high groove, he gets these guys back.
Johnson's going to try and get the position. Under the 8th. 7th for Jimmy.
Little wiggle there on the 8 car.
Stremme looked like he had a little problem there too in the 44 or the 14 rather.
Dave, is the Martin Truex in that 8 car complaining about his car? Is it okay?
Well, he was complaining just a little bit before that caution flag. His car would push up toward the wall like a lot of them do in the center of the corner. So what they did was they reduced the air pressure in all 3 tires, except for the right rear. That brings the rear end around a little bit more because the right rear has a little more air pressure this time. Matt?
Dave, the car on the inside, the 14, David Stremme, they made a chassis adjustment on their stop to try to free the race car up. It hasn't helped. In fact, he says the car is now way too tight.
Now we're going to see who made the right adjustments.
Right.
See Nemechek there in the 87 car, moving a couple spots up. Michael Waltrip in the 99. Those guys that hit on the adjustments, you'll see them go to the front.
And Elliott Sadler back to 13th now. Dave?
Well, the 87 car of Joe Nemechek started 17th on the day, moved his way up to 13th at that caution flag, and just a little bit through the center of the corner. Again, his car wanting to push toward that wall. They made a wet adjustment, which means they shoved that wrench through the back window and changed the attitude of the car, changed 4 tires, and now Joe's trying to pick them off one by one. Casey Kane in his sights now. Matt.
Michael Waltrip hasn't won since April 2004 NASCAR Busch Series competition, and he too has a slight tire issue. His team running up and down pit road just to see what the other teams look like. He had a blistered right rear. The right front looked good. He had been super tight on the early run, Alan.
And just to follow up on Elliott Sadler and what Todd Parrott was thinking in his research, just remember that here at Chicagoland, if you think back over the last few years, guys, no tires, 2 tires, that's been the way to go. But this year, Goodyear has brought a different tire, a softer tire designed to wear a little bit faster than the ones that were here in the past. And Todd's thinking is, let's find out whether 2 tires or no tires are going to be the case here at Chicagoland this year. I think he's got his answer.
I think you're right.
Question is, how far back does he fall, Bill? That's really the question.
Yeah, well, he's battling back there with Michael. Elliott just got up to the 12th position, dropping Waltrip to 13th. What's really going to be interesting to see if this stays green for a long time, how those older tires are really going to behave.
Yeah, because the more laps that they put on them, the car should start slowing down more and more.
Yep. No problem for Ryan Newman so far. Overcame the lug nut issue, and he continues to lead the NASCAR Busch Series USG Durock 300.
On the next Texas Hardtails.
And we'll go through the same horse.
We'll be starting, what, 2nd tomorrow, won't he, Ryan Newman?
Yep. And if he's this good tomorrow, he could have a big weekend.
By the way, I'm told that the 49 right front tire, that something came out of the engine and blew the tire. It was not a tire problem, but a punctured tire.
That is a blown engine. And you have pieces puncturing your front tire.
And then they put you in the wall.
Yeah.
Dropping back to David Stremme in the Navy car, currently running 9th. Making the move to the Nextel Cup Series tomorrow in the Busch race today. What does it mean to him to race against the stars from the garage next door?
Their level of racing is it just seems like they bring it up, and not necessarily they have any more talent than the Busch guys we race against every week, but it's just after driving the Cup car now, I mean, the Cup car is a lot harder to drive, so when you get into Busch car, it seems easier, and that's what I'm hoping this weekend. So you know, again, I enjoy them coming over just as long as I had an incident earlier in the year with a Cup guy, and it hurt me in the points with like 2 to go at a race, and you know, I just wish that we could have a little more respect, some of them.
You can have some interesting moments out there.
And in the booth.
Yes. Truex Jr., the championship leader, in front of Stremme, along with J.J. Yaley. And the rest of the guys up there?
NASCAR Nextel Cup drivers.
You betcha. Getting report that the 40 car has been on pit road. Loose lug nuts.
Oh, man.
So that's a tough break for Sterling Marlin. Truex Jr., big win last week. New contract. Headed to the Nextel Cup Series next season.
Car looks pretty good. Making some gains on Jimmy Johnson, that 48.
Truex is about 8 seconds behind the leader, Ryan Newman.
Newman's lead a 1.5 seconds over Harvick. The caution flag is out. Debris on the racetrack between turns 1 and 2. Our second caution of the day. Ryan Newman didn't want to see that. And again, they've gone about 30 laps, not quite that far, on this set of tires.
That means 4 more tires.
Oh, yeah.
Unless you're Elliott Sadler.
No. That means
taking 4 this time? They're finished testing, you think?
I think so.
Testing.
Sadler's running 12th, so he dropped back to 13th, then got one position back after taking just the 2 tires.
Didn't lose too much on trying that.
Yeah, the tires, the first 2 or 3 laps, he lost all those spots.
Right.
And then his tires are about as good as the rest of them.
Right. It just took a long time to get them up to working.
Matt Kenseth had to start at the back of the field. He's worked his way up to 21st. Jason Leffler from 36th to 18th right now.
And these caution flags and pit stops are helping those guys immensely because they go in, make adjustments with 4 tires. Hopefully, Kenseth crew can come out and pick up a couple spots on pit road, get in the top 20, and he can race his way to the front.
Stanton Barrett gets the lucky dog.
You may see somebody put 2 on here because we've only had, what, 30 laps? So you may see somebody put 2 right sides on.
Marty.
How about some teams taking no tires? Look for that on pit road. Kevin Harvick's team will not be one of them. Harvick said the car just gets a little bit tight the longer that he runs. It will be a 4-tire stop for the 21 team, playing it conservative. Matt?
Now, Carl Edwards said we're going in the right direction, but we still need to go more. Still need to free the race car up. They already made a track bar adjustment. Look to see if they pull a spring rubber. Yes, they do. Pull the spring rubber out of the left rear. Dave?
Same wrench, different hole in the back window of Ryan Newman's car. That will make a wedge adjustment. His car just a little bit tight in the center of the corner. 4 tires again. Let's see if they can nail that left front this time and get off pit road first. The 48 obviously beats them off, and by taking 4, it's a better stop, but they will fall back. Alan?
Well, Elliott Sadler only fell back to 13th, as Bill and Benny and Wally were talking about a minute ago. It did take 4 tires this time. Also, his only comments on the radio in that whole run while he was slipping back is, we made the wrong air pressure adjustment. He's back on the track.
We're green, and let's see what happens up front. The 48 of Jimmy Johnson and the 41 of Reed Sorensen, fuel-only stops.
And here comes a guy with tires. Oh, I mean, just don't understand that.
And so you're predicting they're going to catch the 48 pretty quick.
I predict that.
Way to live on the edge, Wally.
I'm going out on a limb, all right?
And Reed Sorensen in the 41 car, also no tires. He is struggling so badly. He's fallen back to about 7th or 8th.
We also got a report he might have a vibration with that car.
Motor's blowed up. Well, okay. Answer to that question.
The man second in the championship standings, Marty.
Well, they had talked about a vibration coming down before that. That's why I'm surprised they didn't change tires on that pit stop. It was fuel only for the 41 car, waiting to talk to Brian Patty to find out exactly why they did not change tires when they thought they might have had a vibration.
I guess that wasn't the 41 car that we were hearing on the radio. Yep. Oh! Did Truex get sideways as he tried to turn over that 41 or what?
Marty, you got some more down there?
Yeah, Bill, it's a motor going bad for the 41. That was what we heard on the radio, and they're limping on 7 cylinders right now. They think it's going bad. They're going to limp it around the racetrack as long as they can. Remember, this is a young man fighting for the championship, just 19 years old, but an engine problem for Reed Sorensen.
And Marty right now 90 points behind Truex in that chase for the Busch Series championship, but that gap could open up considerably if he falls out of this race. That's the battle for second. Looking forward from Harvick at the 39 of Ryan Newman.
Newman in this 39 car, for the first 15, 20 laps, after they change tires, he's really fast. And then he jumps out to a 3 or 4 second lead. Then the other cars start gaining on him and closing in on him. Each time we've had a caution flag, and we're not able to see these other guys if they can, in fact, chase him down.
Johnson's doing pretty good.
Yeah, he is.
Jimmy Johnson, the race leader in the 48 car. A fuel-only stop.
I think we'll see now that Newman got around Kevin, and he was the fastest car that last lap. See if he can chase down the 48 of Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, that time he was 0.2 of a second faster than Johnson. Talking about Ryan Newman in the 39.
Now the 11 car of Paul Menard was a fuel-only stop, as was the 32 for Jason Leffler. Leffler in 13th. Menard runs in 9th. Everyone chasing Jimmy Johnson.
He made up a lot of Ryan Newman made a lot of ground up in the middle of 3 and 4 there on the 48 car, Jimmy Johnson.
This is a good experiment for the 48 car.
I agree, because these cars weigh the same. The only difference in the Busch car and the NASCAR Next Step Cup, 5 inches of wheelbase. Everything else is the same.
And as Alan pointed out earlier, we have had some unique circumstances in these Chicagoland races based on tire wear and fuel management. Take you back to the front. Jimmy Johnson on old tires, Ryan Newman on fresher tires, along with Kevin Harvick.
There's where Jimmy Johnson gives it up a little bit, getting off the corners.
Now, he won't fight these guys, right?
I don't think so. I mean, he'll look in the mirror and say, wow, these guys caught me pretty quick. Although Newman's going to try the high side.
Not yet.
What happens when you drive up behind these cars and you can't get that full complement of air pushing your car down? You pick up what's called an aero push.
Right.
And that's what's happening to Ryan Newman. As he runs in the wake of that 48 car, he just can't turn it like he used to could.
There he goes.
Yep. See ya.
Outside.
Ryan Newman back to the front. And Kevin Harvick's going to follow him through. About the 48, Marty.
Well, I just talked to Chad Knaus about the reasoning behind making the no-tire stop. They made 3 chassis adjustments on the car, so they did change the car. They just didn't change the tires on the car. Chad said, listen, I know we're going to lose the lead. Obviously, they're now back to 3rd. I know we're going to lose the lead. We'll get swallowed up here, but you know what? It was an experiment. Jimmy's done a great job. We'll see if it works, and working so far. They're up to 3rd. And remember, they were about 7th when they came to pit road.
And that's what we talked about at the top of the show, was these guys trying things for tomorrow. That's the advantage of being in the Busch race today, is because they can take what they learned today and apply it to tomorrow.
Carl Edwards on the move. Matt?
Just passes his teammate Mark Martin to take over the 4th position now. Right before the restart, his crew chief Brad Parrott told him, be more conservative on this run. You're just going to have to suffer. We had a right front tire issue, so just take your time on this run. We'll adjust it with air pressure for the next run. But as you can see, a great race car and quickly moving to the front.
That's Greg Biffle, his Roush Racing teammate behind him. Matt Kenseth, another Roush driver, has moved up to 7th. He started last. The back of the pack.
And Mark Martin in between both of them.
Ryan Newman continues to lead. When we come back, we'll take you through the field. If anything happens while you're gone, we'll break in. This is NASCAR on NBC. Speedway, a hard crash. Aaron Fike.
He was running back in the 34th position in the lead lap. And he's backed that baby on the wall big time.
Both ends.
Yeah. See the rescue people up talking to him, making sure he's okay. Wow.
It's a hard hit, but they're all hard, like you were saying.
Yeah, that hurt.
Yeah, that hurt. We knew that.
No.
But now the world knows.
No. 76 laps complete. It's Newman, Harvick, Edwards, Biffle, and Johnson, your top 5. Let's take a look. Just moments ago.
Okay, right there.
And what I was talking about earlier about going in side by side. You get loose on the bottom, there you have it.
And that just takes all the air.
It just takes all the air off the bottom car. That's why you got to be careful when you go into the corner side by side. You got to make sure there's room in between cars or you'll lose the air off the spoiler.
That was Brent Sherman, I think, that was on the outside of the Aaron Fike car.
It's already in progress here.
Yeah.
And comes down the track.
You're just hoping that no one runs into you as you come across the racetrack, because you have no control at all. Matt, what are they doing to the 60?
BP, they're looking at the right front tire. You can see how Carl Edwards has cocked the wheels to the right so a crew member can check out that right front tire. They topped it off of fuel.
And the reason they didn't change, how many sets of tires, guys, do they get this weekend in the NASCAR Busch Series for this 300 miles?
Because the NASCAR Busch Series limits the amount of tires they can have. Alan?
They get 6 tires for the entire weekend, BP, to answer your question. Most of them burned up a set during practice and put a few laps on another in qualifying. So really they had the better part of 4 sets of tires in the pits to change during the race.
Right, and they've already changed 2 sets. That means they've only got 2 left for 123 laps.
Randy LaJoie gets the lucky dog. Ryan Newman leads Kevin Harvick under caution in Joliet, Illinois.
Only about 100.
You know, Mark Martin has changed 3 sets of right sides already in 79 laps, 80 laps.
Yeah.
Got 120 to go for only 3 more sets.
That was close.
The 5-car of Kyle Busch wants to get, currently he's 2 laps down to the leader with that unscheduled stop. He wants to get in front of Ryan Newman. Hope the caution comes out. He gets a lap back. Then he's eligible for the lucky dog.
Oh, we got trouble up in 4.
Yeah, we do. Car spinning and into the wall. That's Justin Labonte in the 44.
Jerry Robinson in the 78, yep. But I don't believe that Steve Robinson spun trying to dodge the 44 and did not have contact. Attaboy, Jerry.
Boy,
Sorry,
Kyle
Justin.
Busch was so close. We were just talking about trying to get that lap back.
Yep.
And he said,
missed opportunity.
Of course, the field is frozen when the caution comes out.
He's not calling Ryan Newman a lucky dog. He's calling a dirty, rotten dog now.
Again, everybody's been trying to get a hold in front of the 39 car today. Ryan Newman.
Timmy Fedewa in the 12 car will get the lucky dog this time.
There's 36 cars on the lead lap.
That's tough for Justin Labonte. Now let's take a look at this. Watch the 87 car here. Look closely.
See a bunch of smoke where he's made contact with someone. The left front fender is rubbing the tire.
Man, he made a lot of contact, Alan.
Well, that happened when they came toward the opening of pit road under the last caution, Wally. Elliott Sadler started to come down pit road, was kind of doing a fake. When he went back up the racetrack, he and Nemechek collided. Sadler's right front to Nemechek's left front. Sadler made a late pit stop under that last caution to fix his damage. Nemechek, you see what the result is to him.
There we see the crash. See Justin Labonte in 4-4 backing in the wall and Robinson spinning down on the apron.
Already in progress. And one more look after it's already begun.
Right at the top of the screen, right in the center of the screen. Wow, how about Stacy Compton in that 59 car just barely squeezing through between the 2 spinning cars.
Was that the 41 also that got through there?
Yeah, it was Reed.
Because he'd been on pit road with his hood up. That's what put him back there.
Trying to figure out if he had a spark plug bad or a spark plug wire jumped off for that lost cylinder we talked about earlier.
Most of the leaders staying out on the track. We'll update the pit road activity when we continue in the USG Durock 300.
Tonight on Speed, old school racing is back. Pigs, lose the race, lose your ride.
Today you've come to either win a vehicle or lose a vehicle.
That car was built to drag race. We'll show him what he's going to lose to. I got balls enough to race my own. Absolutely smoked it.
That's racing. This is going to be a heck of a prize to lose.
Lose the race, lose your ride. Pigs, tonight at 8:30, only on Speed.
Ow. Ouch, Dave. I am a broken wall. Is that not obvious? Hey, Dave, would a doorstop kill you? Huh? Dave, I don't want to bother you. I'd fix myself, but I am a wall.
Let it dry, sand it, paint it. Thanks, John. Oh, doorstop. What's that?
Nothing. I was just...
I didn't think so. Ace, the helpful place.
Get front row seats to concerts with live streaming video from Verizon Broadband, the world's most advanced network. Even when the show's sold out, you're in.
This is what only 5 pounds of body fat looks like. 5 pounds. How much extra body fat are you carrying around every day? This is propylene, clinically proven to reduce body fat, and so powerful that its active ingredient was issued a patent by the United States government for weight loss.
It's like a miracle. I cannot believe it, you know. People, they don't even recognize me.
You don't change your life, and the fat just comes off.
I didn't do anything different, and I took it and I lost weight.
Call now to try propylene risk-free for 30 days for only $29.95. If you don't see amazing weight loss results, send it back and we'll refund your $29.95. But wait, it gets better. Call now and we'll include a second bottle absolutely free. Call in the next 10 minutes and your shipping and handling is also free. That's right. Call now and your second bottle and shipping is free. That's an additional $40 value. Yours free when you call right now.
Call 1-800-988-9977.
Okay, Kyle's going to give it another run.
Yeah, he still wants one of those laps back.
Harvick right there in the 21. Might try and push Kyle Busch.
Probably have better luck pushing that 39 car.
If you can catch it.
You get to him.
And Greg Biffle goes by Harvick into that second spot.
Harvick chose the wrong lane. Or the wrong guy.
So Biffle, 66, move into second. Here comes the 48 of Jimmy Johnson looking on the outside. Harvick does not like the outside, Wally, at all. Harvick in that 21 car.
Ooh, the 5-car slides up the racetrack.
One Lowe's
right along Biffle.
Yeah, one Lowe's car could take out the other Lowe's car here. Kyle Busch in the 5, Jimmy Johnson in the 48. Busch not on the lead lap. There's Jimmy. Johnson on the pole tomorrow for the Nextel Cup race. Greg Biffle runs second behind Ryan Newman. We get a report from Dave.
Well, it's a mini victory right now for these guys because that car was not running well for Greg. Shattering the front, spinning out in the back is what he said. And remember, this is not a Roush Racing team. This is Bruco Motorsports, so they don't have everything in the world that Greg has over at Roush, doing the best they can. And right now, they've got that car turned around for Biffle. Matt?
J.J. Ailey just passed the 17 at Kansas to move into 5th, but his issue is the car is a rocket right after the green. But then as the lap starts to wind off, it goes tight, tighter, and then even more tighter. They're just hoping they can adjust in the next stop, adjust that tightness out. They've got some ideas. Marty?
Matt Kenseth has done an excellent job today. Remember, started at the back of the field after they changed a right front tire after qualifying because the car was traveling so much it wore a groove in the right front tire. Chad Norris, the crew chief, decided to change that right front. Matt's been very happy with the car. They used a 2-tire stop to gain some track position. Alan?
Back here in the garage with Justin Labonte. This trip to Chicago not going to work out as good as last year's did, Justin. What happened?
No, I'm not really sure what happened. I was racing with the 59 car there, and just kind of got together going in that corner. I don't know if we got a little bit loose or what exactly happened, but we got spun out and tried to stay in the gas and keep it off the wall, but knocked the back end off of it. And I just hate it for the Coast Guard guys. We made some changes in our car. Actually, it's pretty good, and just a short day.
He won the race a year ago, not today. Bill?
Thanks, Alan.
Truex in the 8 car, picking up a spot from Casey Kane. Moved
How's he looking?
7th.
That car was a little twitchy earlier, wasn't it, the 8?
Yeah, I think they were talking about a tire air pressure adjustment, which should make it that way right after the green flag drops until the pressure's built. So they've been tuning on that car, and it's good. Dave, what are they saying about the 8?
Have you ever had a car, Wally, that was snappy loose?
Yes.
Describe what snappy loose is in your mind.
Snappy loose is as soon as you turn the steering wheel, it wants to get sideways.
And that is what was happening with Martin Truex Jr. They made an air pressure adjustment to try to give him some more grip back there, and it went away. That was the previous stop. And so much happier, Martin Truex now.
And on the inside of the 17, and Truex passed Kenseth for 6th. Casey Kane in the 38. Boy, this has been the Ryan Newman show, hasn't it?
It sure has. And Casey Kane, once again, that 38 car moving up the racetrack. I love to see that because that ensures us having a second groove for tomorrow's NASCAR Nextel Cup race.
At least he thinks it's there.
It takes some time. It takes 10 or 15 laps, it seems, and then it comes back to him. Dave?
Well, and he radioed to his crew that he couldn't get down into the corner. And that was a problem, actually, BP. He wanted to run down in that low line because to get in on the high side, he has to really slow it down. He said, guys are killing me getting in the corner. But you know what? Up off the corner, he feels great. In fact, he told his team, it feels like I have a Nextel Cup motor in this car. We're pulling him so hard down the straightaway. Matt?
Clint Boyer second in the championship standings, driving the 2 cars. You see the 14 is Stremme also working the inside of Matt Kenseth. Now, The balance has not been good most of the race for Boyer. The car way too loose, very uneasy feeling. Now, a keen observation by a spotter, Mike Dillon, said earlier in the race, it seems like all the Cup guys are moving up a lane to a lane and a half faster than the Busch guys. See if that will help. He has done that between the adjustments and the adjustments he's made inside the cockpit as far as his line. He is finding the balance he needs.
And I think, Matt, that you're right. I think the drivers are a big part of making the car handle by driving around the corner to suit their car. If they have to move up the racetrack, move down, whatever they got to do to adjust their style to the way the car's set up today.
Yeah, because whatever the car's doing, you're stuck with it until the next pit stop. So you need to start searching around laps. That can make a big difference.
They're going to start rooting for caution as long as they're not the caution.
Yeah.
See, now, what happened? Is this Matt's two tires here hurting him? Kenseth giving up another position. Boyer going by in the 2. Halfway through today's NASCAR Busch Series race in Chicagoland, Ryan Newman continues to lead. Then it's Biffle, Harvick, Yaley, and Johnson. When we come back, we will take you through the field here at Chicagoland. Ryan Newman has led 83 of 99 laps. You're watching at Illinois, the Chicagoland Speedway for NASCAR Busch Series racing, and Ryan Newman has been the class of the field. 105 laps complete. He's led 88 of them. Let's take you through the field. Start with Newman, and here's Dave.
And remember back in 2001 when Ryan ran his first Busch Series race here, late in the race, running second and tracking down the leader, he crashed with a lapped car. Hoping for much better things today so far, showing himself to be the class of the field. Now, Wally, what's the next best thing to popping open a cold drink up there in your booth? How about air conditioning?
That would be good.
Greg Biffle has some great air conditioning today. He brought it over from his Roush car, put it in the 66 car, and it fixed a problem they've had all season long. Marty.
Dave, Kevin Harvick's got a great handling car. You don't need air conditioning when you got a good handling race car. They've made 2 half-pound air pressure adjustments on this car all day long. Just slightly tight, but happy with it. Dave?
Martin Truex very happy with his car, especially coming off the corner when he mashes down on the gas pedal. That's where he says it's best. Still having a little trouble with the turning part. Matt?
About a half a lap ago, the 8 of Truex just passed the guy who's running in 5th now. J.J. Yaley says the car is not too bad, just a little too tight in the center. When he tries to turn it too much, Dave, it wiggles.
We talked about Casey Kane having a little trouble getting his car down in the corner, but he just radioed in, my car's starting to get pretty good. And that's high praise from this quiet driver, Matt.
Second in points, Quinn Boyer on the move. He has now climbed up to 7, says the car is right where he needs it, just waiting his time for later in the race. Snyder.
Matt, the 2001 winner of this race, Jimmy Johnson, has not said a word on the radio. His car spends most of the afternoon being tight. That's the struggle they have. You see him running a groove a little bit higher as Carl Edwards tries to pass him, Matt.
Restarted 24th, Marty, now working inside the top 10. He came on the radio the last caution, said, you guys are not going to believe this. What a treat. I just realized I hadn't turned my air conditioning on. And the 14 of David Stredman. We've been following his story all day, pulling double duty this week, and we'll start 31st tomorrow. Now he says he may have a motor issue hampering his efforts down the straightaway. Alan?
Well, Tony along just outside the top 10 in the 11th position. He started 13th in the race. Reported his engine a little warm early, so they pulled some tape off on an early pit stop. Right now he says, everything's fine. Let's get in the top 10. Marty?
Alan, for the first time all afternoon, Mark Martin, the all-time winningest Busch Series driver's car, is a little bit loose, which means the back end wants to come around. He is up in the 12th position right now. Let me check that. Where is Mark? He is in the 12th position right now in the car. They took 2 tires on the last stop. Matt Kenseth used a 2-tire stop also to gain some track position up to the 13th position for the 17 car. His last Busch Series race was Richmond in May as the 11 car tries to pass him, Alan.
That would be young Paul Menard, whom I spoke with before the race. Big, important race for him. Menard's, the family business, a lot of stores in the Chicago area. He said he wanted to have a good run. He's had a good run. He started 31st. They took fuel only on their lap 59 stop, and he's trying to get a spot away from Matt Kenseth. Matt?
Bobby Labonte making his first NASCAR Busch Series start here at Chicago. Last month he finished 6th at Lowe's, his only start this year. The car pretty much all day long has been on the tight side. Significant adjustments, Alan, every stop today.
Well, Denny Hamlin driving for Joe Gibbs in the red number 20 car. Thought his car was a little sluggish under the power plant, so he switched ignition boxes earlier today, but he's hanging in, doing a nice job for his first time at Chicago, starting 18th, and he's in the top 20. Elliott Sadler. Now, here's a key observation on this car. They took the time under the last caution to come down pit road, repair that right front fender damage they got in the contact with Joe Nemechek. He dropped all the way back to 32nd spot. He's on the charge to 17th. Marty?
Alan Ashton Lewis has made slow progress throughout the day, but it is forward progress. Started 23rd. Currently, he is up to the 17th position. They finished 5th in this race last year. Car has been tight for most of the afternoon. And look here, Reed Sorensen. The problem all along, it was an electrical problem. They switched ignition boxes. Everything is much better now. They think it might be a vapor lock problem, but that only affects them on restarts. Car much better. Matt?
Rounding out the top 20 as we close in on another round of pit stops is Michael Waltrip. Hasn't had a top 5 finish since his victory at Nashville, April 2004. Like a lot of guys today, Bill, they have been fighting a tight condition. Significant track bar adjustment on the last stop. They pulled a spring rubber and made an air pressure adjustment. It does not seem to have helped.
Thank you, guys. That gets us back through the top 20 from Ryan Newman in first to Michael Waltrip in the 20th.
Catching him? Yes, he is. He's just a third of a second behind. As a matter of fact, he's 2/10 of a second. And Biffle has moved up the racetrack using the high line and gaining on the 39 car. Challenge for the lead off turn 2.
We are right on the edge of the pit window here. I'll tell you who else is charging is Martin Truex Jr. He's running 4th. Ooh. It's a little tight there, doesn't it?
34 car is Randy LaJoy. Newman tries to go by him to put him a lap down.
In the drivers' meeting earlier today, NASCAR cautioned drivers to make sure they indicated by waving their hand that they were coming to pit road after last week's incident in the Cup race at Daytona. Dave?
Well, the 39 car of Ryan Newman will have to pit in the next 10 laps or so. He might have a problem. He's been radioing to Roy McCauley, his crew chief, that the right rear feels like it might be blistered. Now, of course, Ryan cannot see that tire. He's making a judgment based on the way his car has begun to handle. Matt?
David Stremme in the 14 car spent much of the race running inside the top 10. 2 laps ago said the car is tight on exit, but I have a little vibration. He wasn't sure if he had abused the right front. If it was blistered, the crew will take a look at it here in a moment.
15.3, pretty doggone good to change 4 tires, put fuel in that car.
We're going to break away, get back in time to see the leaders come down pit road. Ryan Newman leads Greg Biffle and Kevin Harvick in Chicagoland.
That's right, and he is down and away. They made a track bar adjustment to help free the race car up, and they also made an air pressure adjustment in both front tires to help the forward grip, guys.
Thanks, Matt. Edwards pitting on lap 122. Jimmy Johnson has been on pit road and won in lap 118. The 17 of Matt Kenseth has also been in. David Stremme and Kenny Wallace were both on pit road. Both Stremme and Wallace hit with speeding penalties. Wallace got 2 of them. Too fast entering pit road. 99 on pit road. Matt.
Another one of the top 20 runs. Drivers running on pit road. You can see the chassis adjustment already completed for Michael Waltrip. Not the day he had hoped for, not the season he had hoped for. He has a new crew chief, Butch Hilton, who's come over from Kevin Harvick Inc. As Michael is away, they're hoping for better things as the season progresses.
And yesterday a tough day for Michael, too. His longtime car owner, Chuck Ryder, passed away. Just one of the nicest guys you could ever meet in this sport. A very popular car owner. Had Michael in that Pennzoil 30 car for a long time. Then Johnny Benson. And Chuck, a familiar face in the garage area, will be missed. And our prayers to his family.
Yeah, he was around this sport for a long, long time. As you said, someone that you enjoyed talking to.
Always smiled.
Yes,
always smiled.
Love talking to Chuck.
And these guys, Ryan's staying out there talking about his tires. Obviously wants to come in. Now are they starting to think about fuel, or they're nowhere? They're going to have to stop at least one more time.
Yeah. It's just you know, these guys are so close right here. It's going to be real important how you get in and off right now of pit lane, because it can mean the difference between who comes out first, Newman or Biffle. And Biffle usually gets on pit lane pretty good.
Tell you what, if they can hold off for just 4 or 5 more laps, they can make it on one more
You think
stop.
so?
Yes.
How about the tires?
Well, that's a $64 question.
Oh, look at 39 slowing down there. Looked like he was slowing down.
Ryan Newman, the race leader.
Kenny Wallace has fresh tires on that 22 car.
Oh, contact. Biffle getting the back of the 15 car just a little bit there.
That's Brent Sherman in the 15 car.
Alan? Well, it's been a long time since Paul Menard put tires on that car. He has just come and gone at lap 126. A little bit of an air pressure adjustment on the left side tires, and he's back in the hunt.
Newman got himself in some traffic there.
That's what happened, I think, why he looked like he was slowing down. Just was a traffic situation. Kenny Wallace, with those fresh tires, drives by Newman.
And he's a little upset.
Yeah.
Kenny Wallace?
Fresh tires and anger will do that.
Got 2 speeding tickets.
Not 1,
but 2. Allen, 33 on pit road.
Yep, Tony Raines driving for Kevin Harvick, having a pretty solid run, floating around on the backside of the top 10. Going to get 4 tires and fuel on this stop. A little too far away to go to the finish on this tank of gas. And a good stop by his team.
Ryan Newman has led 112 of the 128 laps. Jimmy Johnson led 11.
Biffle hitting pit lane.
I don't think Biffle wanted to pit. Just 71 laps to go, but I guess they're terrified of running out of fuel.
So he makes the long drive down pit road. Came off the track running second. All the way down to Dave Burns on pit road.
And, Bill, they wanted to put their scuff tires on here. They have one more set of sticker tires as well. So these are the ones with 1 heat cycle in them. Greg, also, you see a wrench going in the rear window there. That will be an adjustment because Greg's car is just a little bit tight. And that will help adjust the chassis so it doesn't push out toward the wall every time he runs into the corner. Around to the left side now, the Bruco Motorsports team getting those left side tires on. And Biffle is back off pit road.
Good stop. Looked good. Looked clean.
So now the question is, when does Ryan Newman come down pit road?
This lap, I saw him motion to everyone behind him, I'm going to make a pit stop, so don't run in the back of me.
Clint Boyer is on pit road. The 38 is on pit road. How about the 2? Matt.
What a run he's having now, and what a run he's had the past 4 races. 4 straight top 10 finishes, starting with his first career win. He said, I don't want any adjustments. The car is near perfect for Clint Boyer. He's away. Dave.
Casey Kane will finish his 4-tire stop very slow on the left side. Kane with a long stop in as now leader Ryan Newman comes down pit road. He nearly collides with Kane as Kane exits. Here comes Ryan Newman. He said, guys, I like what you did last time. Do a little more of that. That's a wedge wrench in the right rear. 4 tires and Newman will be off of here. Again, the car coming just a little bit tighter for him near the end of this run, and he wants a little bit more of an adjustment. Drew finishes up on the left side, and Newman skids off pit lane.
I tell you what, it doesn't get much better than that when it comes to pit stops. J.J. Yelly coming to you, Matt.
His crew chief, Jason Ratcliffe, calling him into his box, slides to a stop, a tear off the front. You can see the wedge wrench going in the back window. The car over this run had been tight and getting tighter, looking to adjust that, make the car more free. It was a rocket on the short run, trying to make it better on the longer run. A little bit of trouble on the left rear. Haley's away.
Thanks, Matt. Martin Truex has been on pit road, so has the 21 of Kevin Harvick. Making their stops under green, 134 laps complete. Mark Martin scored as the current leader. Dave, update Martin Truex for us.
Well, here's an important points question, guys. Did Martin Truex get to lead a lap?
We can make it from here.
No, he did not.
He did not. That was one thing they were trying to do, but they had to finally pit for fuel. His car, again, was one of those that wanted to push out toward the wall. So when they couldn't do that, they just came in and made an air pressure adjustment on the 8. It was a very fast stop. Allen.
Well, Denny Hamlin is in and had moved up to 6th in this cycle. Out of kilter a little bit with the leaders as far as his fuel stops are concerned, but this might just get him to the finish from here. Let's see if he could get his best Busch Series finish out of this one on fuel mileage.
And guys, we heard Bono say to the 8 car, Martin Truex Jr., we can make it from here. That's huge.
Casey Kane on and off of pit road. Too fast. Speeding ticket for Kane. There's Mark Martin in the 9 car, the race leader. I'll tell you what, we have seen it before at this track, fuel mileage, and it's going to be a factor now.
Oh, it is. There's no doubt.
Some of these guys will make it, but some will not.
Will not. Some will run out of fuel before the end of this race.
Because the part we probably didn't hear was Bono saying, save us some fuel.
Yeah, we heard him say, we can make it from here, but the PS was, if you save some fuel.
Right, exactly right.
Unless yellow comes out.
Right, that changes everything. Dave?
Guys, who's one of the best fuel savers on the track? Was it not Ryan Newman in the 39 car? Remember, he pitted at the same time as the 8 car, so watch the 39 possibly able to make it all the way, too, because Ryan's real good at that light right foot.
I think he practices that on the interstate or something, because he gets outstanding fuel mileage. All-time leader in Busch Series wins, Mark Martin.
Stopped on lap 77, so he's been out there for about 64, 65 laps. It's pretty soon he's going to have to make a pit stop, and Reed Sorensen is running in second spot. Marty, what about the 9 car? What's their strategy?
Well, remember the little off sequence from everyone else, BP, but Pat Tryson has not made the call to Mark Martin yet to come to pit road. I think when he goes by this time, he's going to say come to pit road next time. So we'll probably 1 to 2 more laps for Mark Martin. There you go.
Well, they better hope so, because there's a lot of cars a lap down if the yellow does come out right now, if these guys running as long as they have.
Now, Reed Sorensen can run a few more laps because, remember, he stopped to check out his engine situation. And if Martin pits, which he's going to, Reed Sorensen will take the lead and get 5 bonus points for leading the lap.
And the key man in this pit stop, obviously the tire changes are important, but as we heard on the radio, make sure you get all the gas in it. Make sure it is full. So Mark Martin slows and heads to his pit, and his crew will go to work. Marty.
Yeah, this is the point, Bill, which they knew they could go all the way, but they want to be very conservative, make sure they get all the fuel in. Mark wanted to tear off the windshield. The car has actually been very good. It's been a little bit loose. They made very few changes to the car. It'll be 4 tires for Mark Martin, trying to get his 3rd Busch Series win of the 2005 season.
15.8. And Martin begins the crawl back to the racetrack. Reed Sorensen scored as the leader. He gets the 5 bonus points.
Just unlapped himself there, Ryan Newman.
Up in the 39.
He's not much faster than Sorensen, is he?
No. Wow.
So Sorensen stopped on lap 83, so he's been out there for about 57 laps. It won't be long until he'll be on pit road, but should be able to make it the rest of the way without any problem.
Truex Jr.
10th spot.
Still Nemechek, 87 car. All these cars are a lap down to our leader, Reed Sorensen. I'm sorry, Nemechek was in second position.
They haven't pitted yet.
No.
Ryan Newman is 5th. He's basically your race leader. Alan.
Here is Jason Leffler, one of those guys out of sequence with the leaders when he stopped back at lap 77. They're taking 4 tires, fuel to the finish on this car. Had a little hang-up on the left rear, but he's away.
So we're waiting for Sorensen, Nemechek, Leffler, and Sherman to pit. Sorensen, the leader, inside of Randy LaJoie, the 34 car.
That'll be Harvick trying to get on the lead lap.
Yep.
The 21 car coming up behind these guys.
Harvick is 6th. A lap down until he gets around the 41. How about the 41, Marty?
Probably about 5 laps, Bill, until they do come down pit road. And again, you know, they switched ignition boxes, and everything has really been fine. He has a little trouble on restarts, a vapor lock, Andy Graves, the team manager, tells me. But other than that, the engine is running fine on the backup ignition box. Key that he has gotten these 5 bonus points to lead laps. I asked Brian Patty, what's realistic after all you've been through today, the engine, and making some contact earlier? He said, if I got out of here with a top 15, I would be happy. I would consider that a big, big, big day for us.
Sorensen back to second now in the championship standings, 51 points behind Martin Truex Jr. And this is one of those days where they might be able to look back, and it's not how many points we gained, it's how many we didn't lose.
Correct.
Again, we are in the middle of a green flag pit stop sequence. Ryan Newman is currently scored third now behind Sorensen and Nemechek.
And you saw a picture of the 41 driver, Reed Sorensen, just a moment ago. And, folks, this young man is 19 years old. And what a terrific job he does on the racetrack driving this 41 car.
Wasn't LaJoy talking about him yesterday? Yeah. What did he say? That he's got...
Just how good he is.
Yeah.
How much he's aware of what's going on. He drives like someone with 5 or 10 years experience and has none.
All right. And now he's out there with 19 guys that are racing in the Nextel Cup Series tomorrow. Matt?
Carl Edwards back on lap 141, Bill, said the car's loose. On lap 143, said it is bad loose, and now he thinks he may have a tire going down. Says the car is just wicked loose. He's trying to hang on to it. Now, the car that just passed him, J.J. Yaley, last year, he gave up the lead 20 laps from the finish to pit for fuel. The 2 cars he was racing, one ran out on the white flag lap, the other went to victory lane. They don't want to make the same mistake. I talked to Big Kevin Grubb, the engine tuner. Marty, he says they're good to go as the 41's on pit road.
Yeah, Matty, here's a pit stop for the leader, Reed Sorensen, the man second place in the championship. You see the damage on the front of the hood? That's what I was talking about earlier. They made contact. Reed wanted to tear away, wanted a bottle of water, said, you know, the car's handling fine. We still have a little bit of an engine problem, but otherwise, I think we're salvaging a pretty good day here.
So I don't think he can make his pit stop and stay in the lead lap. I think that Ryan Newman will come around and lap him before he gets back up to speed.
Joe Nemechek there. A lot of damage there from that earlier contact with Elliott Sadler.
Nemechek is the race leader. How about the 87, Dave?
Actually running pretty well for Joe. He radioed to his crew that the very loose car that he had earlier had gotten better. It's just a tick on the tight side now, but it's really a lot better than it was, and no complaints about tire rubbing or fumes getting in the cockpit from Joe.
You know when they're coming, Dave?
Yeah, they were going to come, let's see. It would now be within the next 5 to 10 laps, Bill.
Okay, thank you. So Nemechek staying out, holds the lead. Newman is second, Harvick third. Then it's Biffle and Sherman. The NASCAR Busch Series live on NBC. 20 seconds ago for Jeremy Mayfield, hard into the wall. That's the second time he's hit the wall this weekend. He lost a car here yesterday in practice early in the morning. 153 laps complete. Ryan Newman has assumed the lead. Joe Nemechek pitted on lap 151.
And I talked to the crew chief of this 64 car, Blake Bainbridge, and he said this is a Bristol car, and they are out of race cars, so this is not going to help the situation at all. We see already in progress the contact that Jeremy has had with the wall.
And you can tell by the damage that he was moving when that happened. Shredding debris down the backstretch by the robotic camera. That's the safer barrier there.
All that debris flying off the car.
It's Newman, Harvick, Biffle, Truex Jr., and Yaley, the top 5. Then Mark Martin, Raines, Bobby Labonte, Jimmy Johnson, and Clint Boyer, the top 10.
Okay. You know Jimmy Johnson does.
We're going to find out. Looks like Newman is going to make his trip down pit road. Looks like all the cars on the lead lap.
Harvick, Johnson, Yaley, Marty.
Bill, Kevin Harvick and Rick Byers coaching their team, saying we haven't been able to pass Ryan Newman all day long. Middle of your screen, let's try and pass him on the pit stop. Just a little bit loose, half-pound to the left rear tire. Matt?
Radcliffe and Yaley debating back and forth whether to do tires and make a chassis adjustment or just make the chassis adjustment. They topped it off. He is away. The car was just getting tight, Dave, near the end of the run.
Top of your screen, Ryan Newman. Car not turning the way he wants it to. They will make a chassis adjustment. It was a track bar adjustment in the right rear. 4 tires on. Good stop so far. Allen.
Tony Raines in, getting 4 tires on his car. Car not turning as well in the corners as he would like. Hoping to gain a couple of spots on the stop.
Matt, and we told you, Bill, about the issues with Carl Edwards. You taking a look now at the right rear tire, you can see that he had really abused that tire on this past run.
Boy, did he ever. That's the problems that we talked about earlier. I think Alan talked about those tire issues at the very top of the show, and we can see the concerns that the teams have. Looking at that tire.
Yes. That's frightening. Dave, how about the 66 of Biffle?
Greg Biffle came down pit road. He said, guys, leave it alone, meaning put 4 tires on it, don't make any chassis changes, and he comes out second. Great stop.
So Ryan Newman back to the front. He's led 118 of 155 laps. Biffle, Truex, Raines, and Sorensen the top 5. After Jeremy Mayfield has hit the wall. I want to take you outside the track to the Ballpark Franks tailgating zone, one of the exhibits here at Chicagoland Speedway. You can take part in many activities. They've got driving simulators out there. You can even have lunch. And, of course, a chance to test your skills on pit road. It's the Ballpark Franks tailgating zone here at the Chicagoland Speedway.
Those tire changers are not going to get it done in Busch and Cup competition.
Well, we have a little change.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Would you like to know what happened?
Tell us all about it.
Well, Ryan Newman had to come back down pit lane because of a lug nut problem.
What happened, Dave? Did they leave one off?
Yeah, guys, we've been checking on this because the NASCAR official, I'm pretty sure, called them back in. That's usually what happens. They usually try to live with it if they don't think they did it. But as we go back to green, Ryan Newman had to come in. They had to reinstall a left front lug nut. 39 team thought they had it done, but NASCAR made him come back in. He goes to the back.
Ryan Newman restarts in 18th.
Stacking up there, Jimmy Johnson way high. 48 car. It's that Leffler that got out of shape in the 32 car, and they stacked up, and Jimmy Johnson's got a lot of debris on his tires from the, being up there in a gray area, so he's going to have to be careful and beat him off. There's the 32. Alan.
Jason Leffler has a flat tire. He did not pit under the caution. They were good to go to the finish on fuel. They had track position, and that's not working out for him right now.
I tell you what, there was so much debris on the backstretch with that Jeremy Mayfield crash, there's no wonder he has a flat tire.
Jimmy Johnson went from 9th to 18th.
He had a great restart. Jimmy Johnson passed a bunch of cars on the outside on that restart, but then when Leffler got in trouble there, he had to go high and got all that garbage on his tires.
How about the day for Reed Sorensen, leading the race now after all the difficulties he's been through today, with Truex Jr. second, so Busch Series regulars running 1-2 right now.
And we made such a big issue of the 19 Nextel Cup drivers in today's race.
19 guys in today's race go tomorrow on the 400-miler here at Chicagoland. There's Sorensen, your race leader.
I'll tell you what, Truex is not, I repeat, is not closing in on that 41 car.
J.J. Yaley was the fastest the last lap. And that time Sorensen the quickest by about 0.3 BP.
Man, he's going somewhere. It looks like he did not have an issue on the restart with
Somebody's got a tire down in 1 and 2.
It's a 90 car. 90
car, or maybe not a tire down, but he's definitely smoking.
Elliott Sadler has had an interesting day.
Left front flat.
They said the left front's flat. Looks like he's made contact with somebody and knocked the fender in.
And he sure shot up the racetrack.
Okay, now let's update the 39 car. Ryan Newman had to come back down pit road, but it was not a lug nut issue. Freeze it right there, and go ahead.
Freeze it. The guy is circling the driver. He's not circling the driver. He's taking care of the driver, taking off the window screen, the tear off,
The only thing he can do is handle the driver. Clean the windshield, service the driver is what it's called.
But we see him going around and cleaning the grill on the race car.
Can't do that.
Can't do that. That's a no-no.
Dave, how about it?
And of course, during the race, it is a while before the NASCAR officials allow that 8th man over. So about midway through this race, NASCAR officials up and down pit road made a swirling motion with their hand describing that you could put that windshield washer guy back over. They didn't make any such motion about cleaning the grill.
And that's a safety measure. That's to give the driver the ability to see better, to clean the windshield. A lot of guys use the tear-offs, but you cannot do anything but work in the driver's area.
And that 39 car, that crew is not his regular 12 crew, the All-Tail crew from the NASCAR Next Up Cup. These are some guys that are trying to break into competition, new tire changers, all these guys trying out for position.
So to clarify, it was not a lug nut issue on the 39. It was the improper use of the extra man.
And that right there could have cost him. Could have cost him the race.
I'll tell you what, he's up to 12. And he's got 35 laps to go.
Well, he can do it, but he's got to have maybe 2 caution flags to do it.
Yeah, he's 8 seconds behind the leader now, and the leader's not in traffic, and he is.
Sorensen leads. We check with Marty. Marty, go ahead.
Jeremy Mayfield from the infield care center. Bill, that's a second hard hit for you this week. You okay? And what happened?
Yeah, I don't know. We either broke something or cut a right front tire down or something. But we've had a bad weekend for the Miller High Dodge there. But running pretty decent. Could have been better, but just bad weekend for us. We've had 2 in the last couple of days, so that's not too good.
Glad to see you're okay. See you tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks.
Jeremy Mayfield hoping for better things tomorrow in the Nextel Cup race.
That's Casey Kane. He was putting the lap down.
Yep.
And we see Kevin Harvick in that 21 car up trying to take over that second spot from Truex.
Biffle's not too far behind.
18 cars on the lead lap. Harvick in the 21 to second. Harvick was the fastest car the previous lap.
Now, if you're a Truex fan, that yellow car directly behind Truex is Casey Atwood. He is a lap down. Here we go.
Oh, wow.
All right. Carl Edwards had a run on those guys, didn't he?
That's Bobby Labonte in the 19, Boyer in the 2.
Boyer could not keep that 2 car on the bottom of the racetrack, had to go up the hill, and luckily there was room to go up the hill.
You think Carl feels like Superman after getting those other tires off his car and getting 4 fresh ones?
Uh-huh. I do.
Ryan Newman up to 11th. 7.5 seconds behind the leader. 31 to go. Ryan Newman has had some wacky stuff happen to him at this racetrack, hasn't he? Now he's trying to overcome a pit road penalty.
See, this is the stuff that will just kill him because he's got 2 cars racing for position in front of him. He can't do anything. And he's losing. I can go up the center, I guess, but losing time.
Labonte is 10th, Newman 11th. The 33 of Tony Raines scored in 9th. So that's a battle for the 9th position right there. 9th, 10th, and 11th. Labonte wins that battle on the 39 car, Dave.
Well, and I don't want to add, whoa, as Tony Raines gets a little bit loose there, almost took Newman around. I don't want to paint too silver a lining around the dark cloud of Newman being back in the pack, but Wally, now he's back in traffic. Remember, he's trying to learn for tomorrow as much as anything. He's been out front a lot today in clean air, so does this help him for tomorrow?
I think it does, but he's been running so good. I don't think he really wants to learn anything. I think, he's been leading this race and dominating it, so I don't think he's real happy being back there. Yes, this does apply for tomorrow, but boy, being back in traffic is just, he's losing a lot of time on the leader.
That's Biffle for 3rd under Truex Jr. Ryan Newman up to 10th, but he lost a second, as you were talking about, Wally. Lost a second.
Ryan Newman gets by Bobby Labonte, gets by the 33 car of Tony Raines. Oh, we got trouble. We see Jeff Green, the 4 car. Looks like an engine problem. Cost is out. That helps Ryan Newman immensely.
Sure does.
Yeah.
He's going to get.
That's going to put.
He's going to get 8 seconds back.
Yeah.
let's see, he was actually 8.9 seconds behind the leader. And now he's going to be 8 car lengths behind the leader. Okay, now what are you going to do with 28 to go? Depends on what you got.
What can you do? And what can you do?
Right, it's what you can. All right, exactly right.
I think all these guys will have to stay out because I think most of them might. I don't think most of them have tires to change.
Well, and not only that, but now the track position really comes into play. You only got 20-some, 25, 26 laps to go, 27 laps to go, so you don't want to be in the back of this pack because there's a lot of cars a lap down, so it's pretty much going to be a double file restart.
Right. There's 18 cars on the lead lap, so if you're back in 10th, you're virtually 20th.
20th, right.
Casey Kane gets the lucky dog. Let's go for a ride here, Wally.
We're going with Clint Boyer,
the
2 car. And then you'll see the engine go in front of you.
Wow. Oh, my goodness.
It's probably better that happened there. If it would have happened going into the corner, Clint Boyer may have wound up in the wall.
Wouldn't you like one of those things that automatically cleans your windshield like that?
Sure. Yeah. Because is Clint Boyer going to have to make a pit stop to clean his windshield?
You would think, wouldn't you?
You would think. You sure would.
It depends how much. Well, yeah, if there's a lot of oil in that fluid, or if it was.
And Boyer's
to see,
and he's in 8th position.
Let's see what's going to happen. Sorensen does not come.
Truex. Here comes Truex. Yaley. Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy Johnson's got a set of tires left, doesn't he?
Truex gives up 4th position. Yaley was 6th. Johnson was 12th. Yoakum.
Well, Bill, they knew they wouldn't hold him to that position long because his car was just wicked tight. They felt like their only shot to get this car to victory lane, pit, make a chassis adjustment, and get another set of tires.
Dave, the 8 car for Martin Truex, it just would not turn for him when he wanted to go through the corners. So they made a wedge adjustment in that rear window. They will change 4 tires. They have a set of new scuffed tires they can put on left. And so they will put those on as well. Marty.
Dave, kind of an easy decision for Jimmy Johnson, seemed, because they had a fresh set of tires waiting behind pit wall. So that was a good decision on their part. 4 new tires for Jimmy Johnson. They've been chasing the handle. It's been a little bit tight and a little bit loose this afternoon, trying to find that middle ground for this last run for the 48 car.
This is going to be fun. Reed Sorensen leads. Harvick, Biffle, Mark Martin, and Martin Truex Jr. was running up front, but pitted. We'll see what happens when we come back. With Dave Burns.
Bill with crew chief for Martin Truex. That is Kevin Mannion. Bono, I know he didn't like his car, but I hear you kind of second-guessing yourselves after that stop.
You know, sometimes you win on pit road, sometimes you lose. We still had the motto that we make pit decisions to win the race, and we made one there. And between the lap cars and just the guy on the tail end of the lap, we didn't get the clean air in the car. For some reason, the car just got extremely tight there. So, you know, I watched Ryan Newman gain about 12 spots in 10 laps. So hopefully they'll get the speedy dry cleaned up, and we'll have about 22 to go or something, and see if we can't just salvage a finish out of it. You know, points guys are still all up front today, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Matt?
Carl Edwards sits in 5th. You must like how your man is performing after rebounding from the tire issue, Brad.
Yeah, you know, Carl Edwards driving this Charter Communications Ford, doing a great job, and you know, I don't understand that we had the issue. You know, I freed the car up a little, maybe too much. He's up on the high line today, high, wide, and handsome. That's Carl Edwards. You know, I'm thinking he's on a cushion somewhere, and I'm sure he's thinking that too. But he's doing a great job, and you know, my whole team's thinking about our truck driver, James Dixon. So get off the couch and get a cookie or something, James, because you got to do it.
James better hold on. They may have their 4th win this season. We've got less than 25 laps to find out. Marty?
Well, Brian Patty, let's see. You thought you lost an engine. You missed one wreck. You hit one wreck. Now the engine's running about 250 on the water. Other than that, you think you can win the race?
I think so. Had a fast car there, that long green flag run. Car's really good on long run. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, Reed's done a great job. Yeah, we've gone through a lot of stuff here. Pit stops have been good. I mean, we'll have to see. I mean, you know, first part of the race, top 20 would have made us really happy. But the way we ran on the long run and the cautions, how they fell, and the green flag stops, it worked out for us.
And Bill, remember, it was about 20 minutes ago the man told us, hey, if I get a top 15, I'm cool. Now he wants to win the race. These crew chiefs want everything, don't they?
They get greedy, don't they, Marty?
Yeah, they do, don't they, Bill? Yeah.
Now, Sorensen's had a wild day. Take a look at our ExxonMobil command performance of the race. Earlier in the day, Sorensen on the track. Now look at this crash.
And he is right in the middle of that and drives through. That's the white hood that you see in the smoke. He turned left to miss the 44 and back right to miss the 78.
Here's another look for you.
Wow, he was sideways there, too.
He could.
Good job.
That is a command performance right there. Our ExxonMobil command performance. Reed Sorensen. Marty, you got some more?
Yeah, real quick, on the 41 car, remember earlier we told you guys, BP, that he was having vapor lock on the restarts?
Right.
I just talked to Andy Graves, and he said it's actually been much better on the last 2 restarts. He did ask Reed about it on the radio. Reed said he hasn't really noticed it on the last 2 restarts, so the 41 team hoping it stays gone, if you will, and that problem's gone away permanently on the 41 car for today.
Well, one thing that's hurting the vapor lock situation is it's getting hotter. They talked about the engine temperature being 250 degrees. When we talk about vapor lock, what we're talking about is the underhood temperature gets so hot that it boils the fuel under the hood. It doesn't come in a steady stream, but air bubbles go through the carburetor. That's a vapor lock.
So what's helping him is these yellow flags, because right now that's less time for Ryan Newman and Jimmy Johnson and guys like that on the to catch him.
Well, we've completed 178 laps. Let's take you through it in the Chicago Minute. Ryan Newman took him to the green. Lap 31, former series champ Steve Grissom in the wall.
Heavy damage to that 49 car. Lap 77, Aaron Fike in 43, spins in turn 1. Baxter in the fence. Single car incident.
And this is what we gave our command performance for. Justin Labonte got it started, and Sorensen got through it. Sorensen is scored as the race leader right now. Lap 154, Jeremy Mayfield's second encounter with the wall this weekend. He was okay.
And we see the blown engine out of Jeff Green. Clint Boyer, the 2 car, right behind that engine as he expired.
And that brings us to lap 179. And that's on board with Boyer. You saw his camera catch all the water, but his windshield looks okay.
Well, and that's made probably what it was more water than oil, which saved him because water just evaporated off the windshield. If it was oil, he'd have to come in.
Sorensen with a good jump on the green.
What a terrific start that he gets in that 41 car, and now he has the Casey Atwood vehicle between himself and Harvick.
Ryan Newman restarted 7th. Yaley, Truex Jr., and Jimmy Johnson, who all pitted. Yaley was 15th, Truex 16th, and Jimmy Johnson 17th.
And Harvick is coming.
Here he comes.
Wow. He made a lot of ground up there.
Here he comes on the outside, but now on the inside. What a great crossover move by Kevin Harvick.
And Mark Martin making some moves with Carl Edwards behind these 2 guys. So Harvick to the front. 19 to go.
Ooh, 41 car pushes up. He's going to lose another spot.
Is that engine temperature, you think, hurting him there, BP?
No, I think he just drove in the corner too hard and pushed up. Biffle was able to get by. Here comes Carl Edwards in the 16th. Oh, Strimmy on the inside. Carl, look out. There's a car there.
Reed Sorensen's getting an education right now, which is why you run the Busch Series.
Get him a little loose here.
Edwards wants by on the inside.
So he's going to lose 3 positions to Carl Edwards, Strimmy in the 14, and Mark Martin in the 9. But here comes Rocket Man Ryan Newman on the inside of Mark Martin.
Stremmy's a lap down there in that 14 car. That Navy car is a lap down. All these other guys racing for position.
Ryan Newman had the pit road penalty. and now is working his way back forward. Had to restart deep in the field.
In the meantime, Harvick's in clean air, pulling away.
And now,
these guys are jamming up.
This is our next caution right here.
Wow. See, look at Ryan Newman go on the apron down by. He comes back on the racetrack and just kind of shoulders Strimmy in the 14th out of the way. But Mark Martin, meanwhile, gets back in front of the 39 car.
Newman is delivering the message. This car is fast. 16 to go. Newman is 3.4 seconds behind the leader, Kevin Harvick. Harvick leads by 0.3 over Greg Biffle. Newman to 5th.
Okay, now he's got some clean air ahead of him. We'll see if Newman can run down Harvick.
No, not enough time, I don't think. Too much space to make up.
The only thing that would help him is if Biffle could catch Harvick.
And they started racing.
Right. Dave, how about Newman?
Well, he's running fine, obviously. The question is a matter of time. He's only got to work through a few more cars, but the guys running out front, like Greg Biffle and Kevin Harvick, they're the ones who are in the best seat right now because they've got that clean air. However, Biffle just told his crew, I got nothing for him, and he meets a 21.
And Harvick's just praying that another yellow doesn't come out.
While you watch this, I can tell you Jimmy Johnson has moved up slightly to 13th and Truex to 14th. And right now, Truex's lead in the championship standings just 48 points and 52 back to 3rd. So we'll see how that pit stop plays out in the big picture. Newman's lost about 0.8 of a second, 4.3 seconds behind Harvick.
Ashton Lewis in the 25 car, challenge from Jimmy Johnson in 48. See the points that Bill was just talking about.
Changing every lap.
Oh, Ryan Newman goes by Reed Sorensen.
He was all over his bumper coming out of 2. All over it.
A little shot there.
My car's fast.
Faster than yours.
Yes,
see?
Sir. See ya. But he's still 4.5 seconds behind.
Yeah, but what was it a minute ago?
It was 3 points.
Oh, but he needs, now he needs a caution flag.
Yeah.
With 12 to go, they throw the green with about 8 to go, he might win the thing.
Be a single file restart.
And you know, the fastest car now the last few laps has been Ryan Newman, but Carl Edwards is almost as fast as Ryan Newman. Aaron Edwards in 3rd spot is gaining on Biffle and Harvick.
Biffle is 0.4 of a second back of Newman, or of Harvick rather. Then it's 1.1 seconds back to Edwards from the leader. So as good as Newman has been all day, now Harvick is showcasing that same kind of strength.
Out front, clean air. Uh-oh, here's that yellow Newman needed.
The cautions.
It will be out.
Now it's out. It wasn't out when they said it, but it was. It is now.
Harvick did not want to see this.
No, he didn't.
But Ryan Newman did. Everybody but Kevin Harvick wanted to see it.
Yeah. You got Truex, a couple of those guys that came in, made those last stops.
They ain't got nothing for you, man. You're the best thing out there.
Now, Benny, Wally, this will be a single file restart when we go back to green, which means all the lap cars will be at the tail end of the line.
They won't have anything to worry about. We heard Ricky Byers, the crew chief of that 21 car, telling Kevin they don't have anything for you. Don't worry about it.
That's a little confidence spill there for your driver.
Now let's take a look and see what we can see here.
There's the 8 car, Truex. And there comes 48.
Little contact, perhaps. There it is. He got squeezed.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's what did it.
Rips the bumper cover off the 33 car.
Okay, so that's what caused the fender problems and the damage. Maybe even sliced the side. Watch here on the outside. It just gets squeezed. Tony Raines moves up the racetrack a little bit. Didn't know 48 was there. Jimmy Johnson. Wow, Raines got in the wall pretty hard, too. I think he just cut the side of that tire. It's just like a retread. Just peeled off. There you have it.
that's the end of the day for Jimmy Johnson, for all intents and purposes. Marty, what do you got?
Well, Bill, they came in and changed left side tires. They had to pull away some of the extra rubber that was wrapped up underneath the suspension parts on the left front, but it was left side tires on, and that was it. Clearly, the contact is what made the left front go down, as we just saw, but heavily damaged car on the left side for Jimmy Johnson, and they had a pretty good race car. They definitely were going to finish top 10. It will not be a top 10 day now for the 48 team.
Looks like he hit the wall with the right side.
Yeah, because the paint's gone off the tires, right?
I guess when he squeezed, when range came up, he squeezed up again and hit the outside retaining wall.
8 laps to go.
I don't know.
Still cleanup crews on the track.
That's not good on the tire.
No, it's not.
That's what caused the tire to go down on Jimmy Johnson's car.
And I doubt very seriously that bumper cover will stay on that car at speed.
I wouldn't think so. Harvick is the race leader, and here's his reaction from the crew and driver when they take the lead.
Go, man!
I wonder what the reaction was when the yellow came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't that, I'll tell you that. No.
Something may have been thrown.
Ricky Byers told him, said, you're the man, Kevin. They cannot get by you.
And we're right back where we were. Wasn't it Harvick and Biffle bumper to bumper last week at Daytona?
It was. Helping each other.
Let's go down to Allen.
Well, Newt Moore is Greg Biffle's crew chief today. Newt, is this caution a help for you, or does it hurt?
No, it's a help. Cool everything down, and we got Greg Biffle, and that's about all you need. Him and Harvick race good together, I think, so we'll see how it goes.
I think. There you go. And by the way, we've talked all day about learning for tomorrow. Newt's the crew chief for this car today, but somebody keeping a very close eye on things is Greg Biffle's crew chief for tomorrow. Doug Richard up on the box listening and watching. Marty?
Well, Rick Byers, this morning, Kevin Harvick told me all I want to do is be in position to win this thing at the end. You've got him here. Can you pull it off?
I think so. Kevin's done a great job today. I think our only concern right now is Newman. Hopefully he can get held up by them two cars that are between us, and we'd come away with a win.
How much of an eye have you been keeping on him as he tore up through the field there?
I've been watching him, but he's not been gaining on us that much. It's just this yellow closed him back up to the field, but Kevin's going to be fine. I got all faith in the world in him.
How much does clean air mean at this point? Is that the key?
And track position is everything here at Chicago, and I think we're going to have about 6 laps to go, and it's going to be really exciting, I can tell you that.
They have him in the right position. He's never finished better than 27th in a Busch Series race here, hoping to win one today. Alan?
And down in Ryan Newman's pit with his crew chief, Roy McCauley. Well, we know you needed the caution to get caught up. Can you do anything with the couple in front of you?
Well, the Mobil 1 Altel Dodge is pretty good today. I don't know how much steam we got left, but I know we got the best driver out there, and hopefully he can make up for some problems that we had. But we'll see. It'll definitely be a challenge. We got 7 to go. I'd pay close attention. It's going to be a lot of fun, I think.
I think I agree with that. I'd pay close attention. It's going to be fun.
Good advice, Alan.
The best thing that Kevin Harvick has going for him is Greg Biffle and Carl Edwards.
Yeah.
Because Newman, he has to get by those cars before he gets to the 21 car. Here we go. We'll find out.
Jimmy Johnson will restart 19th, the last car on the lead lap. 6 to go when they get the green flag. It's out.
Good restart for Harvick. He slowed him down a little bit right before he took off.
Here goes Newman on the inside of Edwards.
Edwards is not going to help Harvick too much.
Mark Martin takes a spot away from Edwards.
Carl just slid up the racetrack a little bit on that restart and lost a couple spots.
I think Ricky Byers was trying to convince himself that the 39 car wasn't that fast. Ryan Newman in the 39, closing in on Biffle for second. Harvick leads, 5 to go this time by. Newman dominated the first 3 quarters of this race. Now trying to fight his way back from a pit road penalty.
He gets a great run off the second corner, but Biffle moves up the racetrack in front of him.
You saw what he did to Sorensen.
Oh, that Rains?
There's traffic. Yep. 33 of Rains. Forces everybody high. 4 to go.
I'll tell you what, we better not eliminate Greg Biffle winning this thing, you know? He was right there in that 66 car. Looks like he drove it down in turn 1 a little bit too hard. I don't know, but looks like he might have gained just a little bit on the 21 car.
Biffle was the fastest car last lap, a tenth of a second faster than Harvick and Newman.
Now this arrow push is really starting to affect all these cars. It's starting to affect Biffle and the 39 car of Newman. Not the leader.
And Harvick was the fastest that time. You're right, Wally. In fact, Newman lost 3/10 on that lap.
Oh, he hit the wall. Who hit the wall?
That was Biffle.
Yep.
Biffle?
I think he's trying hard.
No.
Marty.
Bill, they're telling Kevin Harvick 2 to go. Now, when you come to the line, they can't do anything with you. You have the clean air. They don't. Harvick loves these double weekends. The last time he won a Busch Series race, Bristol. What did he do the next day? He won the Cup Series race. He'd love to pull the double here at his favorite racetrack in Chicago.
Off to a good start.
Down the backstretch, white flag next time. Harvick was the fastest car the previous lap.
Carl Edwards got back around Mark Martin. Yep. So Edwards back to 4th spot.
I would imagine Mark gave that spot up for the points, to give him those 5 extra points.
He
is a Roush teammate.
Exactly right. Final lap here down the backstretch. Newman was fast most of the race, but when Harvick got out in front, nobody could do anything with him. Biffle falling back, Newman falling back. Edwards to 4th, Martin 5th. Kevin Harvick out of turn 4, checkered flag waving. Kevin Harvick wins at Chicagoland.
Ooh, 18 around.
Oh, on the last lap. How kind of break is that?
There's the 21 crew. And there's the
Great job, guys. Great job, Kevin.
Richard.
Oh, great job, guys.
Richard Childress owns Harvick's Cup car.
Thank you so much for RCR and Kevin Harvick. Amen.
Yeah. That's that little prayer.
Well, we started the day with crews getting fired up.
Yeah.
Let's go down to Marty.
Well, Bill, Rick Vyers kept convincing him that the clean air was everything, and you were right. Clean air meant everything, didn't it?
Track position here is everything, and Kevin Harvick's everything. This Reese Chevrolet ran great all day. We've worked really hard, and really proud of these guys on the pit stops today. They did real well.
They kept it up front. They only made 3 changes to the car all afternoon long. Excellent day for the 21 team.
And in a marketing dream come true, the winner of today's NASCAR Busch Series race is Kevin Harvick, and he's presented the Reese's Big Cup. He's probably got a few of those. Let's see if we can figure out what happened to the 18 car.
There we see him on the outside of Strimmy.
He's got a left rear going down.
Sure looks like it.
Rear tire
Yep.
going down. Left rear tire going down on a checkered flag lap.
Wow.
That's a tough break.
Yep.
You could see him wiggle getting into the corners just a little bit.
There it
Like
is.
right there, you could kind of feel it, and then
Nothing you can do about it. You got to turn the car and hope it sticks. Let's check in with Matt.
Probably the drive of the race would have to be Ryan Newman coming from the back, but what were you thinking when they told you had to come back?
Just got to do it, you know. I mean, not real sure what everything that went on. They said we had to do a pass-through afterwards. Don't know what all that was all about, but great run for Automobile 1 Dodge. Led a lot of laps. For sure the fastest car, just didn't get the track position at the end. Happy for Roy McCauley and these guys. Again, like I said, they're here to make mistakes. That's how they learn. But
and that's a developmental team.
That's right, and they'll learn, and they learned today. Hopefully it won't happen again.
Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Alan?
And Greg Biffle has just climbed from his car. Greg, second place today. You dogged Kevin Harvick for a lot of laps. How short were you from overtaking him?
Oh, I was a little bit short. I just got this set of stickers was too tight. My car was good enough to beat him all day. I passed him once, but yeah, Kevin Harvick, he's just a punk. I mean, you know, he rode behind the 41 car trying to keep us from being the lucky dog, you know, to put him in position so it'd make us a lap down, and he just has to race like a chicken. You know, he can't race anybody heads up, and he beat us today, but you know, I don't know if he'll ever win another Cup race. So just, you know, it makes me frustrated that somebody do that, think about that, to try and hold another competitor a lap down. I mean, how much thought do you have to
go through to think of that versus driving your own race car. Unbelievable the way the guys race.
Strong thoughts from Greg Biffle. Dave.
In victory lane with Kevin Harvick. He had won 2 races here in the Nextel Cup Series, but had never even finished in the top 20 here in the Busch Series until today. Showered in red, white, and brew. Kevin, tell us about that victory, man. Good job.
Yeah, it was awesome. This Reese's Chevrolet was good from the start, and we kept going back and forth there on the tire pressures trying to make it good. But Greg Biffle, I knew Newman was going to be the car to beat, and those 2 cars were good. But guys did good in the pits and got us a victory.
Kevin, were you trying to hold Greg Biffle down a lap early in the race when you were behind Reed Sorensen?
Well, I mean, I knew if the caution came out that we were going to be their lucky dog, so I wasn't in any hurry to get by Reed because I knew it trapped that many more cars. But Reed was pretty good at that point, and it just took me a little bit to get to him.
How about for tomorrow? Did you learn enough today, Kevin?
You know, we've done it twice before, and our car was really good in practice, so hopefully we can do it again.
15th career win for Kevin Harvick in the NASCAR Busch Series. Bill?
Thanks, Dave. The Right Guard Open is coming up next right here on NBC. Take a look at the final results, unofficial from today. And Greg Biffle, that rivalry goes back to a race at Mesa Marin Speedway many years ago when they were in short track cars.
What about working together last week? Oh,
yeah.
That was last week.
Yeah, that was last week. Yeah, well, they said that they worked together.
Yep.
Not very well, though. They don't play nicely, do they, Wally?
Yelly goes back to 18th position.
And all the guys that had long days. Elliott Sadler.
Jeremy Mayfield lost 2 cars here this weekend. Steve Grissom, Justin Labonte, Aaron Fike, all involved in hard hits, all okay. Take a look at the championship standings. Martin Truex Jr. now by 17 points. Sorensen falls to 3rd. Then it's Carl Edwards, 205 back. Kenny Wallace is 5th. Jason Keller rounds out the top 10. Coming up next, the Do Action Sports Tour pulls into Colorado for the 2nd stop of the season. Don't miss the biggest action sports stars as they compete in the FMX Finals and the BMX Park Finals. That's coming up next on NBC. Tomorrow we're back for Nextel Cup Racing from Chicago. Jimmy Johnson will lead the field to the green flag. Our coverage begins at 3 o'clock Eastern Time with the Bank of America countdown to green. For Wally Dallenbach, Benny Parsons, Alan Bestwick, Marty Snyder, Matt Yoakum, and Dave Burns, this is Bill Weber. Thanks for having us in for the race. We'll see you at 3 Eastern Time tomorrow for NASCAR Racing from Chicagoland. So long, everybody.